Boom, we are alive, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. A few years ago, a really good friend of mine, he means a great deal to me, brought me a sentiment that I think is worth reflecting on. He said, Tio, what if I told you that I knew you were going to make, let's say, $100 million in the next 10 years? Would you do anything differently? And this is a really important insight to how we live our lives on a daily basis. Often what we end up doing is working really hard to try to get somewhere, instead of often recognize the reason why we are where we are is because of what we're doing today, not what we want to be doing tomorrow. And this is a really important way to look at things. So, what would you do differently today if you knew that you were going to be a millionaire? What steps would you take to ensure that success? One of my favorite things about investing is that if you peel back the layers from just a financial standpoint and you start to look at concepts like value, richness, wealth, quality, there's a certain aspect that really comes to light, and they're a flavor of taste and interest in one's life. Right? You could often think, well, what would you do with the money? That's probably a more important question, right? More than the money, most people want the opportunity of what the money can provide for their interests in pursuing their goals. But often the thing that you're interested in doing, it's not the money that's holding you back. It's you. Or I guess in this case, it would be me. It'd be me holding me back. So when my friend kind of brought this idea up to me and shared, well, if you ask yourself these questions, what differences would it make? And what if you knew that it was going to happen anyways, that already you were doing the things necessary? Would you keep doing them? Well, would you do them better? So when I started playing music, I was around 16 years old. I absolutely fell in love with playing the drum kit. And at first you get really excited about seeing the future. We'll use like the ultra wealthy or multi-millionaire as like where you would want to be when you're playing music. Like on stage, great band, everybody's throwing their clothes off at you, whether you're a boy or a girl musician, I guess. Anyways. The point of this is, what we view as wealth where we are today is often a changing modality. So when I started playing music, you get really excited about where music is going to take you from almost a rather superficial layer. But as I continued to study, I continued to play, and I continued to realize how difficult music is. Music is an extraordinarily difficult pursuit. It'll take you an entire lifetime, and you will still always only ever be a student. And this is a very humbling, very, very humbling thing. You do not become a great musician by accident, but you can become very wealthy, with a lot of money at least, by accident. So what happens when someone has a lot of money but isn't living a great life, or doesn't have a lot of depth or passion or quality to their character? One of the fascinating things about investing is that if we peel back these layers and say, well, what are we doing with our daily life that makes us feel wealthy or that makes us feel rich? The pursuit of that is almost like balancing an emotional checkbook. As you become more in harmony or more in tune with where it is you are going, then things start to flow. Money may not always solve the problems that you're having. So what good would it do? Solve the problems that you're having that you don't need money to solve, and often money is right around the corner. One of the things that I love so much about this investment thesis that we share, these heads I win, tails I only lose a little type of philosophies, is that they are repeatable mantras by anyone that will give you the depth to succeed, and all you have to do is keep repeating the process. Just like with music for me, when I started playing, it was a daily grind of pretty simple rudimentary practices. Left, right, left, left, right, left, left, left. And over time, this rudimentary process, I'm just going to invest a little bit each month. I'm going to learn I'm just going to learn a little bit each month. I'm going to do that for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, the rest of my life, because I'm ultimately deeply interested and passionate about learning about things, whether it's music and vibration or human psychology and the nature of greed and fear. If you pursue a mantra that's simple, like this, you will become wealthy. You can do it with a small amount of money. You could do it by working at McDonald's. And this is the thought that escapes most people, is that your goal to become a great musician, it doesn't need to happen today. It should take a few years, and expediting that process is getting in the way of the journey that is the wealth and the richness that you probably already have right at your fingertips. The walks that you're not taking, the extra time meditating or doing yoga or remembering to be grateful or tell people that you love them, these are all things that make life better, more enjoyable, and increase the authenticity and the chances that the success that you're looking for is going to unfold right in front of you. So as I developed my journey, my interest in discovering what wealth was, that depth of richness that we are all interested in, monetarily, spiritually, in community with those we love, a huge part of the question is an internal one, not an external one. And over the years, as I continued to study, as I continued to practice music, as I continued to invest, I've realized, and I continue to realize, what makes mastery isn't a lot of complexity. It's these rudimentary simplicities that at its creative expansion look very complex. When right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, when the paradiddles become musicality, when the idea of, hey, heads I win, tails I only lose a little, a rudimentary process of philosophy becomes a creative, multi-year long endeavor, you get to experience a part of yourself. One of the most unique aspects here is that your pathway to millions of dollars is less important than the pathway, that journey for you as an individual, that experience. The money really doesn't change you. It gives you a lot of opportunity, that's for sure, but if you're not going to go to the gym anyways, if you're not going to do yoga anyways or meditate or whatever interests that you have, then the money's not going to change anything. In fact, it just ends up being a distraction for the things that you were originally trying to focus on. I'm going to play music for the rest of my life. I'm going to be an investor for the rest of my life, because investing isn't just about finance. It's what we do with our time every day. And this is what religion used to be. What do you do with your time every day? Because if you know that what you're doing today and you keep repeating it will bring you to where you want to be 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, into that wealth of being, then that's really end up. If you don't feel you're doing that, make those changes. They're usually really small things, pretty simple, and they usually don't involve money. They involve with ideas like, am I smiling more? Do you want to be happy? That's a great question to try to solve. Have you just tried smiling more? Okay, well, you want to be more wealthy. Well, have you tried investing more? I know it sounds simple, and because of this, most people will think, oh no, there needs to be more complexity. The markets have all these unique aspects, and what price range should I get in, and what, don't overcomplicate this. Look at this from a broad spectrum question. This is about your journey towards wealth. Anyways, multimillionaire, a billionaire, or person on the side of the street with no money. If you are wealthy at heart, you're deeply connected to nature and the people around you, there's very little that can take that away. In fact, nothing can except for death. Jesus, what am I even talking about now? I could just wax philosophical forever, apparently. Anyways, this is Teal with the Arcane Bear. We're going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today. I tried to make more of these videos. I know I'm still playing around with it. Let me know if you like them. You guys seem to like the ones where I wax philosophical a bit more than the charting videos because the numbers are higher. That's how YouTube works, right? If the numbers are higher, that means you guys like more this thing than the ones where I just talk on the screen about what I think the price is going to do and why you should just keep buying. It's kind of the same reason why I think you just keep investing. I think you should keep doing your rudimentary practices, and if you do that, you'll end up on the pathway to success that you're looking for.